Welcome, vivacious Virgos. My name's Rose Smith, and I'm here to do your July 2019 horoscope. Thank you for watching today. So July is going to be a big month for everyone, okay? But probably a little more so for you than some of the signs, because there's some things going on that will impact on you. And one of those things two of those things are the eclipses. So there's a solar and a lunar eclipse on the 2nd and the 16th of the month. So they're in Capricorn and Cancer. So Capricorn's an earth sign and you're an earth sign. So obviously Capricorns are going to be more affected, but you still don't get off scot-free, okay? None of us do, actually. So Virgos, what's happening? What else is happening is there's two new moons, the 2nd and the 31st, if you're in the majority of the world. If you're in Australia and New Zealand, the second new moon will actually fall on the 1st of August. Now, the other thing that's going on for all of us is Mercury Retrograde, and that's from the 8th of July until the 1st of August. Now, when I give you those dates, that's when it's on full, but before the 8th, it's actually coming on, and after the 1st, it's actually going off. So the energy is still there to some extent. So there still could be confusion. There could be issues with equipment or particularly technology. So your internet might be playing up, your laptop, your phone, blah, 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 blah. With Mercury retrograde, there's often miscommunications. You say something, you think that you're being perfectly clear, and the other person takes it in some entirely different way. These are the sorts of things that can happen, you know. It's a good time for reassessment. It's not like all bad news, because if you've made decisions in the past, you know, you might go back and reassess what you thought back then and change it in some way. If you signed if you sign a contract in July, you might need to go back and change some of the provisions of that contract. So you buy a new car and decide you want a red car, then later on you sort of change your mind and you think, oh, I think I'll have a white car. And then you need to go back and change things around. So for important decisions like financial decisions or legal decisions, and I'm getting a very legal vibe as I'm talking, I feel things like court cases and legal matters, you know, if you can avoid July, that's what I would do, okay? But if you can't avoid it, just make sure you're really prepared and that you go over everything and go over it and have other people go over it, you know, and hopefully between you, you'll pick up any, you know, potential problems. Okay, so 2nd and 3rd is a new moon solar eclipse in your 12th house, and Mercury and Mars are already in there. Now, the 12th house is a very strange place. It doesn't operate the way that the energy, you know, in our normal analytical minds work. It's not the same as the physical world. It doesn't have the normal natural laws, you know, the laws of gravity. Anything is possible. It's a sacred place. It's the house of the goddess, basically, and it's a very intimate and personal place. So we actually go there every day, and we're in there a lot, but we don't realise necessarily that we're operating from our subconscious and not our conscious thinking, problem-solving minds. So often if you're emotional about something, you might be angry or upset about something, or even in love, it doesn't really matter what the emotion is, but it's coming out of your subconscious. So we frequent there a lot. And so with the solar eclipse happening in that part of your chart, in that house, there's going to be new starts and new beginnings around things in your subconscious that cause you to be more authentic, get down to the core of your soul, the core of your being, So you might find that you get little sort of intuitions or feelings about things that turn out to be right later on down the track. So please do pay attention to what's going on inside your head and also inside your body, because your body can also give you signs. If somebody, for example, is lying to you, you get a sign, and it might be, for example, a feeling in your gut, a gut feeling. So these things will become more apparent to you in the month of July. And Mars is already in there, so there's more action. You might be finding yourself becoming interested in the metaphysical, interested in meditation, going down deep inside yourself and finding out whatever you can find. Okay, go exploring. It's really exciting. Every night when I go to bed, it's like watching a movie. Oh, gosh, what's going to happen tonight? I never know what's on, so it can be quite exciting. And I've found it endlessly fascinating my entire life. So too, I was, when I remember my first dreams, which were nightmares actually, I still remember them. You go down there and you find amazing things. And also gifts. It's not all bad. It's gifts, and there's rewards down there. It's like going for sunken treasure. You're on a treasure hunt. Okay, so you've got Mercury there giving you messages from your subconscious. You've got Mars making you take action steps, so you might want quiet time. You might be seeking out time to meditate and that sort of thing. On the 4th, Venus joins Sun in your 11th house. Now, the 11th house is all about networking, groups, friendships. It's also the house of hopes and dreams. And Venus is it's a beautiful energy, and the Sun is all about insight. So you might meet some new friends and you get on very well together, and there's a lot of harmony and contentment between you, and you understand each other. If it's not a friend, it could be a group, okay? Or perhaps some of your heartfelt dreams come true in July. So that's lovely. Okay, the 8th, as I mentioned before, seems Mercury retrograde in your 12th house. And on the 20th of the month, it goes into your 11th house, okay? So, again, groups and networks, okay? Mercury retrograde, there might be some delays. You might meet some new people that you really like, but you have to wait before you can see them again. Or there's some sort of just be careful with misunderstandings, so you get on really well, and then there's something that happens that's a fly in the ointment or something like that. It could also be friends from the past coming back, old school friends, school reunion, things that have never been quite finished are now up for reassessment, and you can go back and make new decisions. Maybe at school it wasn't so good and you had arguments with people, or they bullied you, or they treated you unfairly, and something comes up and they apologise to you. That's on the cards. Okay. Now, the 16th, the lunar eclipse joins Pluto and Saturn in your 5th house. This is all about leisure and pleasure and creativity and your inner child having fun. And it's also young love, flirtatious love, when you just meet somebody and you don't know them. And so we're not necessarily talking about committed relationships here, although if you are in a committed relationship, it can add some sparkle to that relationship. So that's lovely too. And so with Pluto and Saturn in your 5th house, there's been like some problems, obstacles, delays in having fun, in maybe having leisure time. Maybe you've been working really hard, vivacious Virgos. You might have lost track of, having fun and leisure and socialising. You might have been really, really concentrating on your work and being very productive in getting a lot done. But there's a saying, all work makes Jack a dull boy, or something like that. So that's fine for boys. But for girls, it's actually the same thing. You need to have, everybody, male and female, needs to have time out. And so you might, don't want to burn the candle at both ends. So lunar eclipse brings stuff up from your subconscious where you then work out, hey, I'm on the wrong track. You know, as I said at the start, you know, it's a case of balance, having what you know, you need to do in order to maintain balance in your life. Okay, the end of the month is big. We've got 23rd, the sun into your 12th house, 28th, Venus into your 12th house, 31st, a new moon in your 12th house. So, you know, I can't stress enough, especially at the end of the month, how important it is for you to have time out, meditate, focus on what's coming up from your subconscious so you can lay the foundations for a new start, a new chapter in your life, okay? Because we can all get distracted very easily these days with our devices and everything. There's so much online that, you know, we could just look at stuff forever and just get distracted from who we truly are. Now, I'll close my eyes, vivacious Virgos, and see, yeah, okay. So I'm out above the planet. It's like I'm in space looking down on the planet. And this is at a spiritual level now. They're showing me, now the picture's changed, they're showing me like cutting, planning, cutting something out. Like it's almost like dressmaking. And that makes me think of changing your clothes, changing your identity, and you've got to plan it in advance because you like to be organised. Okay, so we're cutting things out and we're going to make a plan, we're going to make a template so you can be happier in your life, a new identity that really tells the world who you really are rather than just playing a role, okay? Now, I get the sense of health here. I can see bandages and that sort of thing, you know, ill health for some Virgoans. And they're just telling me now that any niggling type health thing that you may have had, there's an opportunity for a new start. Yeah, opportunity is the word. It's got a lot of green around it, I can see. And so there's an opportunity for a new start to do with your health, okay, an improvement in health, they're telling me. Okay, so let's have a look. Sort of stuck on that, actually. They're still going about the health. They're talking about pelvis. I can see an X-ray. They're talking about pelvis and lower back pain. It's like the lower spine, lumbar spine. It's red and inflamed. Okay, so this can often be childhood issues. This can be housing issues, problems with housing, you know, finding a place to live that suits you. I can see the snake, Oribus, I think it's called, and it's twining up the spine. And this is like Kundalini energy coming up the spine from the lumbar area. So it's about chi force being released, but you might have some pain while the chi is actually, or the Kundalini energy is actually being released. You might have some pain. So you need to manage the release of Kundalini. It can come up in chunks, and as it works its way up in the body, it'll meet, you know, in certain areas, it may meet obstacles or blocks, and then it will, you know, do its magic and work its way through those blocks. Okay, but I do feel a sense of vitality coming in the future as the Kundalini comes right up through all the chakras in the spine and out the head. By the time it works its way up, particularly the neck too, is the heart, the neck. These are key spots that might play out for you while it's doing its thing, but you'll have vitality when it works its way out. Now let's have a look in the cards. For Vivacious Virgo, July 2019, I'm looking for a card for the month, the vibe of the month. They're telling me don't sit too long in the one position. They're showing me a seat. All right, so we've come out with Pentacles, and it's the Four of Pentacles. Okay, now, you know, I was just talking about housing, issue with housing. It's also issues with money. But this card, Four of Pentacles, indicates money coming to you through your hard work. okay? Now, when I say hard work, I also mean smart work. I don't mean get out there and actually dig ditches or something, although you might do that. Especially if you've got a back issue, it might that might be counterproductive. But somehow, through working, you can attract more money. See, she's got the coins there in the middle. She actually looks like she's sitting at a computer. Let me see. Oh, it's actually a rock. She's sitting at a rock. She's got a rock in front of her that she's touching. That could be a computer, or you might make money through online. That's actually a rock. It looks like she's typing on. Okay. And see, there's a bowl of coins there, and the four pentacles in the corners. Okay. Now, see in that picture there's a whole lot of rocks around. What that's about is making it physical. Make whatever you do physical. It's not a time for just sitting back and getting ideas. Inspiration is part of the process, and then strategizing, planning is part of the process. But at some point, we need to actually take physical action. And, I know sometimes, people are all full of good intentions. Me too. If I got 10% done of what I thought, I'd be the happiest woman alive, I think. 10% is usually what I go for, is sort of an idea I have in my head that, okay, I'll get 10% done of, what I think. And if I do it, I'm really, really happy. So it's hard. In other words, it is hard, and it takes lots of work to actually get something to be physical, okay? All righty, vivacious Virgos. What else can I tell you? Yeah, change your hairstyle for some of you. I can see blow dryers and scissors, and change your hairstyle and change your clothes is about change of identity and being more authentically you during the month of July. But thanks so much for tuning in. I'd love to wish you now a very happy month. Please give this video a like and subscribe to my channel, and catch me on my other social media, Twitter and Facebook. Yes, don't forget to click the notification bell so you get updates of when I'm on here doing new stuff, because I'm going to be doing a lot of new stuff. Like I said, if I get 10% physical of what's going on in my head, I feel really blessed. But have a lovely month, vivacious Virgos, and I will catch you next time, Monday, 8 a.m. for Pick a Card, your vibe for the week. It's really simple. Just pick a number between 1 and 5. Okay, 8 a.m. Monday, Sydney, Australia time. That's Sunday night if you're in the rest of the world. Okay, thank you, and bye for now.